Um, Good, beautiful morning, human beings, male, female, non-binary, uh, lizard people, bots, everybody. Um, yeah, it is quite extraordinary here in Northern Ireland. We have a quite intense storm coming, it would appear, um, in my knowledge, that it is of a northwestern origin, meaning it's coming in from the Atlantic and it's pretty fucking intense. It's been hollering here since about 1 o'clock last night. Yeah, a lot of I was going to say damage, but no damage as such. But my hoop beds, the material has come off, but it's still there. So my attaching of it has worked. It appears that it hasn't ripped and blown away. Yeah, bins are over and stuff everywhere. But I would imagine that there's a lot of damage in the land of Northern Ireland. So wishing every beautiful human being is safe. Yeah, I woke up this morning. Well, actually, yeah, I got up at like 2:35 because of the storm, and I'm immediately hit by. I came outside and I was immediately hit by um, the um, the energy of um, the poor people of Palestine. Um, like I was saying in a previous um, video, about using the tool of comparison. I basically woke up this morning, went outside, seen the storm, and thought, "Fuck, these poor people." Imagine being bombed and ethnic cleansed and all the horrors, and then the wind and the rain also hitting you. Absolutely terrible. Um, yeah, catastrophe, Nakba. I have a bit of a keeps going over and over in the mind. So I might just do a video of it and then maybe post it. Um, yeah. Yeah, when I was a young man, um, grew up here in Northern Ireland, going to the normal conditioning of being a Christian, and being influenced, molded, and programmed about the devil, Satan, and if you're not a good boy, you're going to go to hell, and all that fucking bollocks. And anyway, so I had that in my childhood. And then when I was like 19 years old, it dawned upon me that what is this about? What is this fear of the devil? Is it real? Because you're programmed as a Christian to believe that the devil is real, and there are demons, and you're gonna meet them in hell if you're a bad guy and all that. So when I was 19, I was like, what the fuck is this about? Obviously, it's bullshit, but where does this originate from? What is the story? What is witchcraft? What is the occult? What is demonology? So I was inspired to find out the truth. And so, being a inquisitive young man, I started to get as many fucking books and read as much as I could about witchcraft and the occult, because I wanted to know, is this fucking real? Is this something I need to fear? So I started to read as much as I could, and I realized that it's if you're going to find out about witchcraft, demonology, and all that, there's so many books available to the public, but they're novels basically. You've got like people like Dennis Wheatley, who was quite famous in the 60s. So I kind of read his stuff, and I read as much as I could of whatever I could find. And then I came across a book called The Occult by Colin Wilson, and that was excellent. That opened my eyes then to a lot of other different people other than Dennis Wheatley and Tuesday Lobsang Rampa and all that. For the first time then I started to come across names that I hadn't heard of, that Dennis Wheatley, for example, would talk about, like Aleister Crowley and Eliphas Levi and all these names anyway. So anyway, I started to come out a really fantastic book, The Occult by Colin Wilson, quite big. And he basically, what he does is he, anything that is unknown to the Western mind, he looked into it and done a chapter on it. Anything from voodoo to the burning of the witches during the dark fucking ages, to Buddhism. You know, he kind of covered everything. And then I came across, you know, some of the names I came across then was like Eliphas Levi and George Ivanovich Gurdjieff, all these names anyway. So when I tried to get books about these guys, it was very, 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 very difficult. So anyway, I read as much as I could. And then, later on in life, I met a very, very beautiful friend who changed his name to Shiva. Shout out to fucking Shiva. And during a conversation with him, he said, I am a member of a book club in London, mate, and they can get you any fucking book that you want, and if they can't get it, they will print it. And I was like, fuck. And he said they have two catalogues. I think it's called the Blue Book and the Yellow Book. And yeah, basically all of the occult stuff is in the Blue Book, for example. So he gave me the catalogues, he got me the catalogues, gave me the catalogues. It's just a paper catalogue, you open it up, it's got a list of books and the price. So I started ordering these books. And these are books that you couldn't get being a public person. Something like that. You couldn't get them in public. What? They weren't available to the public. Nice. So anyway, then I got deeper and deeper into the world of witchcraft, black magic, demonology. Excuse me, which was fucking excellent because I wasn't trying to become a witch or a demonologist or anything like that. I just wanted to fucking know what the fucking story is. Is this stuff fucking true? And later on, I was in prison for a short period, a couple of months actually. It was actually fucking fantastic. Well, yeah, it's prison's okay. It's just like a concentrated version of society. Yeah, I did a lot of laughter, some intense moments also. It was good. All in all. And I went into the library, because they have a library in the prison, and I up and down the aisles looking for a good book, and I couldn't see anything on witchcraft. I thought, fucking surely they've got fucking something. So I went to the prison officer, namely a fucking screw, who was in the library, and I says, have you got a witchcraft section? And he said, he said, there's only two things that are not allowed in prison in the world of books: witchcraft and electronics. And I was like, ooh. And I said to him, I said, I can understand electronics because we can fuck about in the prison if you're knowledgeable on electronics. I says, but witchcraft, I says, does that mean witchcraft is true then? And he kind of got what I was saying. He says, I don't know. He says, basically, he says, there's no books on witchcraft or electronics. So I thought, that's very interesting. So anyway, I started reading novels that were complete and utter fucking horrific. Some good ones. But anyway, I digressed. So anyway, got this catalogue, started ordering books, reading as much as I goddamn could about witchcraft and demonology, as much as I could on Aleister Crowley, because in my opinion he was like a super brave guy. He thought, fuck this, I'm going to check this out and I'm going to go in there 1,000%, and he did, in my opinion. So what, the point of this tirade maybe, is that when I was reading all of these books, I kept coming across the people that we know of as Jews. Many times in the books I came across statements about the Jews, at least as people, and that they were chased from country. I've read this so many fucking times. Chased from country to country, and the reason being, always the reason that was given was black magic. At the time I thought, oh fuck, okay, fair enough. I didn't know. I heard about the Jews being exterminated in Germany by the Nazis, and now I'm reading that actually the Jews have been chased from fucking country to country for a long time. I'm talking hundreds of years, and every time the reason was, from what I could gather, was because they were accused, well, they were definitely accused of black magic. And when I say black magic, I'm talking about the real black magic. You've got black magic as in, for example, influencing people in a negative way. And then you've got a darker layer of that, which involves things like human sacrifice and children stuff. Dark stuff. So what I'm coming across in the books is that, and I'm just reading, I'm researching witchcraft and demonology, the occult, and I'm coming across many times the Jewish people were chased because of dark goings on. That was the reason behind it. And as I was also reading, then it dawned on me, it was quite fucking clear that all of these magical secret societies, occults, all of the graphs and charts that they were using in their black magic and demonology was Hebrew Jewish, which was quite interesting. So it would appear that they had found the oldest source that they could. That's what they were always trying to find, the oldest source of black magic, and it was basically always in Hebrew, or a lot of times, and I mean a lot, either Hebrew or Egyptian, which I think is pretty fucking similar, but I don't know, I'm not a historian. But I was coming across this, I would say, in my opinion, all of the beginnings of the occult, witchcraft, demonology that they were looking at, all of the charts and stuff, it was all from the Jewish nation, if there is such a thing. That's my opinion. That was what I discovered. So interesting, really interesting. I actually have got some Jewish friends. I met them when I was in France, and I wish not I had sat down, because we could talk about anything, but I wish not I had to remembered that and to ask them, what is the fucking story? Is there a big connection between the Jewish people and black magic? And I wish I had asked, because I'm sure I would have got a truthful answer, because he was an absolutely beautiful guy, still a good friend of mine. So interesting. And I watched a documentary recently on YouTube, quite a good documentary, this historian, and he was talking about what had happened to the Jews over the years, how they'd been chased from country to country, and he mentioned, like, one sentence, he mentioned the dark arts. One sentence. Basically he mentioned the reason was this, or this was one of the reasons, but he didn't want to go into that. He didn't want to go into that world, because if you start saying things like that, the reason is because of practicing black magic, then it's going to people are going to think you're fucking crazy, like. So I'm sure that's why he didn't, but I don't care because I'm fucking crazy anyway. Thank the gods, the fictitious gods. In this documentary, he was talking about the history of the Jews and how they'd been chased from country to country, and he said that there was a famous Jew, cannot remember his name, but he was definitely famous. I don't know when. It was, I would say, the 16th, 17th to 18th century, somewhere along that lines, where he came up with a new doctrine. Basically, he told the Jewish people, he said that we have been chased for years and years, and it keeps happening. He says we need to change our strategy in order to fucking survive, basically, which is fucking fair fucking play to him, like. And he came up with the conclusion, the theory, that we have to infiltrate the people in power. This is our new strategy. We have to get friendly with the fucking king or the emperor. And how do we do that? With money. This was his thing. He says, this is how we now have to change. We have to infiltrate. No more fucking fighting and fucking running. We have to stay calm, stay quiet, and infiltrate the men or women at the top with money, because that's what they want, is money. And the guy in the documentary, the historian, he said, and that is what changed. And this is how now the Jewish state or whatever has now become so powerful, because they took this on board and they initiated it throughout the countries where they were living. They stayed quiet, they done what they do, and they put their energy into infiltrating the people in power with money. And it would appear that they have certainly, in America, it would certainly appear that they have managed to accomplish that quite incredibly. Because to me it would appear that they basically own the American government. It would have fucking appeared that way anyway, definitely. I'm certainly not the only human being. There are a lot of experts in the world who are saying this AIPAC controls the American government. And it's quite, it's quite extraordinary. Like, I live in Northern Ireland, and there are some Israeli flags flying in like little pockets here and there, and obviously these are Protestant loyalists. I don't know why they support the Israelis. I've got no idea. I don't know why. I'm not knowledgeable on that. I know that like the Irish, the Christian Irish, people growing up in Ireland, from my kind of world, we support the Palestinians. I think we support the Palestinians because we know what genocide is, we know what ethnic cleansing is, and that's why we've always supported the Palestinians, just like we always supported the South Africans, because we know what it is, because we've been through it. But it's extraordinary that, I don't understand, how, there are certain places flying Israeli flags. I mean, it is, there are tens of thousands, from what I know, of men and women in Palestine who have had their limbs amputated without anesthetics. And there are tens of thousands of children who have had their limbs amputated without anesthetic. And that's because the Israelis will not allow medical supplies into the Palestinians. Now that is pretty fucking dark. I mean, it doesn't get much darker than that. The word evil kind of covers that. I mean, in the medieval times, we were amputating children without anesthetic because we didn't fucking have it. But the thought of amputating tens of thousands of children, their legs and their arms, without anesthetic in 2024, almost 2025, and this nation, this people, these Israelis, they are causing this. I mean, that, you know, the word evil comes to mind. And I don't care if that is happening to Palestinians, I don't care if it's happening to Israelis, I don't care if it's happening to Africans, Indians, Chinese, for a group of people in power to allow that to happen and to continue to allow it to happen, to force men and women, we know, fucking men and women are going through it, but they know that there are tens of thousands of children having to have their arms and legs amputated without anesthetic. That is evil, in my opinion. I would, I was going to say I would like to hear from somebody who could tell me the opposite of that, but I'm not bothered. I don't care. It is what it is. When you're flying in an Israeli flag supporting what they're doing, you're supporting something that is evil, in my opinion. I think that any human being with a soul, and I'm well under the belief that every human being doesn't have a soul, like George Gurdjieff said. Excuse me for a second. I heard George Gurdjieff say that one of the greatest fallacies of religion is telling the people that they have a soul. He said, you don't have a soul. He says, you're born with the capacity to create your own soul. And I like that better. By your actions in life. Because I've met some soulless fucking people. I think we all have. Well, hopefully we all haven't, actually. But I know they exist. A hell of a lot of them. And just to digress slightly, it's quite extraordinary that apparently there are over 100 million Christian evangelists in America. So you got these Christian evangelists, and then you got these Israeli Zionists, two different religions. But apparently the Zionists and the Zionists and the Christian evangelists, they believe that in their books, Bibles, it says that Jesus will return and he will take all of the evangelists to heaven with him. So he's going to appear physically on the fucking earth, take all the motherfucking evangelists off to fucking heaven, and he's going to leave the Jews to rule the earth. And this is what they have in common. So the Jews, they like this idea because they're going to get to rule the earth. And the crazy evangelical Christians, they like it because they believe they're all going to heaven. Absolutely fucking insane. So basically, apparently, the evangelists and the Jews together run the American government. You gotta laugh, huh? Yeah, compost people. Yeah. Apparently, if you don't have a soul, you're just compost for the earth. Now, you know, when you die, you just compost. And if you don't create a soul, then you're just compost. Compost people. Yeah. Yeah, I might start a GoFundMe so I can be a dictator, so I can sort all the compost out. I think I'd make a good dictator. Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna hit send on this to YouTube. Yeah, controversial, for sure. Honest, straight from my fucking being. Give yourself a fucking love. Give yourself a hug. Break the conditioning and programming that you've been fed since you were an innocent child. Beautiful. Child. Fucking beautiful human beings.